You are listening to
New Power Station, and we have the one and only beautiful Valerie Castile here with us tonight. We're gonna be talking a bit about something that completely changed her life, and it has changed all of our lives. On July 6, 2016, Philando Castile, a 32-year-old young man, the son of Valerie Castile, was pulled over while driving in Falcon Heights, Minnesota, and killed by Geronimo Yanez, a St. Anthony, Minnesota police officer. Castile had been driving a car at 9 p.m. with his girlfriend, Diamond Reynolds, and her 4-year-old daughter when he was pulled over by Yanez, another officer in a suburb of St. Paul, Minnesota. After being asked for his license and registration, Castile told Officer Yanez that he had a firearm, to which Yanez replied, "Don't reach for it then." And Castile said, I was reaching for it, and Yanez said, "Don't pull it out." Castile replied, "I'm not pulling it out." And Reynolds said, "He's not." Yanez repeated, "Don't pull it out," and then shot Castile 7 times. Today I sit face to face with Valerie Castile, the beautiful mother of Philando. How are you, beautiful?
Oh, I'm good, as well as can be expected.
Absolutely. We're glad to have you here. You're always in our prayers, and you and so many mothers.
Yeah, absolutely.
How's your family been holding up since 2016?
Well, it's difficult at times. We all grieve continuously, and we all miss him so very, very much. But, we all have our own separate lives, so we can't let the grief and the pain and the hurt embody us till we can't function and take care of our own families.
Absolutely.
But we're okay.
Absolutely. Describe what kind of son Philando was growing up.
He's awesome. First off, I just want to tell you, I adored my son.
Yes.
I adored him, and I've never had to defend my son's character. Never up until now. I repeatedly, time after time, have to defend my son. Mm-hmm. But in human form, I never had to defend him because he was never a problem. He's never been a problem child. He's always been a respectable, independent young man.
Wow. Through everything that you've been through, you and your family, how have you been able to maintain your sanity and to get through this nightmare?
I have my faith. I trust in God every day, all day, 24/7, 365 days a year. I trust in my God, in the spirit of my son, and that's what keeps me balanced. My spirituality and my daughter. I have to stay afloat for her as well. And I've always been the caregiver of our family, and my family depends on me as well. And they look at me for strength, and because I've always been that way. And they look at me for strength, and I know I have work to do, because what happened to my son, King Philando Castile, was a sin. Mm-hmm. It wasn't just a killing or a murder. It was a sin before God. Mm-hmm. That was a sin. So, yeah, I trust in my Lord and Savior, and I'm able to cope every day and fight another day. And I thank God every day that I do wake up, because it's another day for me to fight for the future generation of our children. Yes. Our future leaders is what's important now. I can't help my son. My son sits with the highest of the high, so I don't have to worry about him. It's the children that I have to take care of now, and our humanity. You know, I know and recognize that we're in trouble. Our country is in trouble. Humanity is in trouble. You know, nobody cares about anybody anymore, and it's to the point where, you know, we have to look at each other and look at society and say it's something wrong, and we need to change some things. So I have become a change agent. I'm working so hard at doing a lot of things. I got my hands in a lot of things. I developed the Philando Castile Relief Foundation right after his execution, crucifixion, murder. I can go down the list and call it exactly what it is. Yeah. We ain't gonna play no games. We gonna call a spade a spade. Quit playing with words. You understand?
We don't need to be politically correct. It was murder.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. How has prior to that date, July 6th, how has it changed you?
Well, I've never been a public speaker. You know, I was a mother 100%, you know, and I was in the house all the time doing my mother duties, you know, taking care of my 2 grown kids, you know what I'm saying, but they still my babies. But that was just me taking care of family and things of that nature, and it just made me become a more broader me, because I have to share myself now, and I'm not a morning person, but all things change. So I've been just pretty much fighting for change and talking to legislature, politicians, prosecutors, DAs, police chiefs, the mayors. You know, I've been communicating with a lot of people that know and understand what happened to my son was wrong.
Yes.
And they're willing to lobby for change as well. So I've been working with a lot of different people. I just got in from New York, and I've been working with a group of people, like I said, politicians, not politicians this time. I was thinking about something else I had did. I went and talked to Tim Walsh. He's running for governor in Minnesota, and I went and met with him because he wants to know what can he do to help our communities. So, you know, that's something else. But this group of people, we've are in the process of developing a toolkit that will help us as citizens. It'll help the police, you know, educating our communities and educating them to the point where they understand their rights. They understand the language when they are talking to the police. You understand what they're saying, because they can say some words that you don't even know what it means. So if you understand the lingo and, you know, just us knowing how to see a situation getting out of control and learning how to de-escalate it yourself.
Yes.
You know, you can see him going to a different level, but then you have to be smart enough
to back up, back down.
Absolutely.
Change your posture. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think that's incredible. In your very first interview, when you and Uncle Clarence, how's Uncle Clarence doing?
He's fine. He was at the meeting too, but he had to go back home, and I came on to D.C. But he just left today as well. But he's fine.
We send our love to him as well, and your daughter. But in your very first interview on CNN, you stated that you had not seen the Facebook Live tape of what actually happened that night that Geronimo Yanez killed Philando. Have you been able to watch that tape yet?
I watched it in court and stuff like that, but it was difficult to watch, knowing that these words were the last words that I was gonna hear my son say out of his mouth. You know, him trying to explain the situation to a person that wasn't listening to him, and I mean, like I said, I live by my spirituality, and God solidified a lot of things to me. You know, I know exactly what happened in that car because God gave me the insight and told me what exactly happened. We may not have heard everything that was said because my son didn't call for his mother. He didn't call for his father. He called on God. And he asked God why him. And God told him, you've done your job. I didn't understand it at first until it was revealed to me to just pay attention to what was going on around. And just see how the people were reacting to what was happening. Just see a shift in emotions, a shift in a change of heart, a shift in the way people looking at each other now. And that's the job that my son was put here to do.
Wow.
So, yeah.
I want to share a few things about about Philando for our listeners to let people know who your son was.
Absolutely.
Philando VALERIE Castile, born July 16, 1983, was 32 years old at the time of his death. He was born in St. Louis. He graduated from St. Paul Central High School in 2001. He worked for St. Paul Public School District from 2002 until his death. Castile began as a nutrition services assistant at Chelsea Heights Elementary School at Arlington High School, now Washington Technology Magnet School. He was promoted to nutrition services supervisor at J.J. Hill Magnet School. In 2014, prior to the shooting, Castile had been stopped by the police 52 times for traffic violations. Why do you stop someone 52 times? This was harassment. I know.
Yeah.
This is harassment.
Yeah.
To stop someone for 52 times, and I don't mean to harp on that, but I want to go back to some of the wonderful things about your son. He had started working when he was about 18.
Actually, he started working when he was 13.
13 years old.
Yeah, that's when Jordan tennis shoes came in full effect.
Let me tell you.
Jordan tennis shoes came in full effect when he was 13, and I told that boy he had to go get a job.
When I say, let me tell you something, Valerie, it reminded me so much of me because I remember one time I asked my mom to buy me something, and she said no. And that was the first time I had ever heard no, because I was first grandson, first boy, spoiled rotten, mid-wide, born in my grandmother's house, all the old ladies, coming to bring me into the world.
Gifts.
It was a beautiful thing, But when I first heard no, I was like, no, like, what I gotta do, like, I want them, so I started working. I started working when I was about 14, 15 years old. And I thought about him working early to get the things in life that he wanted and becoming a man and growing into his own. You raised a king, and you got a queen also that you're raising. So I definitely wanted to say an honor to you, because even sometimes after you do all the right things and put our children out there, it's funny because I was talking with someone the other day. We come to this life whether we want to or not. We don't choose our names.
Yeah.
We just come into this life. God brings us here.
Absolutely.
And when we come here, we have our kids, we buy cars, we buy furniture, but we don't own anything.
Absolutely.
We don't own nothing. We don't own our phones. We don't own our kids. It all belongs to God.
Yeah.
And I thought about that, and I thought about you today, and I thought about all the mothers who's had to stand by that because God brought something through them in order to do the work. We're still doing the work.
Yes.
And what work do you feel that you're doing right now? Because through all of this, God is using you to get out there to do the fight. Even before you, maybe there was a premonition. Yeah. Did you even think that out of all the other deaths and things that had happened, had you ever thought about that you would ever be in that seat? And now he's using you.
That never crossed my mind. Mm-hmm. It was just something I'm not gonna say it was surreal. You know, they use that word a little bit too loosely too.
Mm-hmm.
It was for real. I couldn't believe that my son, man, that God entrusted me to raise and to nurture and do the right things and bring out those attributes that God had given him at birth. He trusted me, and this is what happens to him. I tried so hard because at one point it was said that the average lifespan of a black man was 25 years old. I did not want my children to become statistics. I don't want my kids grouped with a group. You know, we are all individuals, we're all human, and for them to stipulate that a person is going to only live to be a certain age, that's wrong within itself. But I was so glad, I was rejoicing when he made 25 and then he made 30. I was like, hey, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I was so happy. I was like, my son beat the odds, you know? And then he ran into an idiot. I've never had to defend my son up until now. I would never see him reach his full potential as a man. I would never have grandchildren by him. But his spirit still lives. And I am doing everything humanly possible to ensure that our children have a decent meal at school. You know, through our Philando Castile Relief Foundation, we pay the negative school lunch balances for St. Paul public schools, and in the tune of $45,000. We also pay Minneapolis lunch debt of $11,000, and we help families that lose a loved one through gun violence with a stipend, and we give them referrals for different places. If you need grief counseling, we can direct you in the direction that you need, whether it be just by a pastor or you really want to go to a facility. We can help you with information on that. If you're having problems with your housing, we can direct you in that aspect as well. But we're doing a lot, and I'm still fighting for change. We've came up with a toolkit to educate our community, as well as holding police accountable for what they do. You know, we're teaching our community how to interact with the police. You know, God forbid, this is just something that we have to do. This is our reality. Come on, we just face the fact. This is what we have to do. You know, we may be the only ones we are the only ones that have to teach our children how to act with the police or whatever, but this is our reality. So we're emphasizing on that, and just, you know, making our kids aware of their rights. You know, you have rights, so we're trying to incorporate that too. But it's just some other things that you can do yourself. When you see that the officer is getting belligerent or whatever, you don't have to go there with him. You de-escalate that shit yourself. Sorry about that.
It's okay. No,
but
that's true.
you de-escalate that stuff yourself. Don't let it get out of control, because you know that person is trigger happy anyway. So we all know that.
I think that's what happens with our babies, because they don't know. They start fighting for themselves, and it becomes death in the end. And it's because they don't know. They don't know any better. So I think what you're doing is incredible. It's incredible. We looked at the transcript earlier, and one of the last words that your son said was, "I wasn't reaching." And tonight, I'm honored to have, again, Jackie Carter, who created the Not Reaching pouch, to sit right across from you. Because when I first met Jackie, and this pouch was in front of me, I never thought that I would be able to have some of the mothers who had actually gone through this to sit across from that pouch. Because she, you know, she's got her own story about why she wanted to do something, not just say we need to do something or say, you know, why don't they do something?
Yeah.
But to say, what can I do?
Yeah.
You know, and I think if we all would say, what can I do in our community? Because no one is responsible for us but us. You know, we got Demont in the house. Always good to see you.
I can't go nowhere without no, you know what I'm saying? I got to have that.
Water?
I have some right here. Thank you very much.
Yes.
I haven't had dinner. I'm hungry.
You
I just want some water.
Will you give her water, please?
Oh, and don't knock the water.
But I wanted to definitely, I want to give Jackie just a few minutes before we leave to tell you her story and how she came up with the not reaching pouch.
Okay.
Well, first of all, I am honored to finally meet you. I have reached out to John Thompson.
Oh, yeah.
He and I had probably talked about a year ago, and you know, I talked to him about the pouch. I actually sent some to him, and you know, it wasn't the time.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's all about timing. It's all about God's timing.
Yes.
In 2016, I think 2016 was the most volatile time. We started seeing all this stuff happening.
Yes.
You had the Sandra Bland, you had Michael Brown, you had all this
Alton
happening.
Sterling.
We're watching this every day on TV. We're not living it. We're watching it, but we are living it. It was trauma every time that came on television.
Absolutely.
July 6, 2016, July 6 is our son's birthday.
Okay.
Justin's
Praise
birthday
God.
is July 6th, so we're celebrating his birthday, and this happens. The darkest place in my life. I mean, I don't know what you felt, but as a mother, I could understand where you were feeling, what you were feeling that day. I turned to my husband. I mean, really, just I can't get it out my spirit. We can't do this anymore. We're watching this on television. We're watching this on social media.
Right.
We can't do, and these are the ones we've seen.
Yeah.
We can count the ones we haven't seen.
That's correct.
I turned to my husband and I said, Wayne, I can't do this anymore. I can't do this anymore. We got to come up with a solution. Everybody's talking about this problem.
Right.
Everybody's coming to CNN, MSNBC, Fox News. Everybody wants to talking about it.
Right.
I said, but nobody's coming up with a solution.
Right.
So I turned to my husband. I said, I'm going to pray until God tells me what to do.
Right.
We prayed for months.
Okay.
Months went by.
Yes.
Let me tell you,
Yes,
months
Lord.
went by. Every night I was like, I'm praying. I need God to give me a solution. I said, I don't care how small it is, how big it is. I got up one morning and I said, I got it. He was like, you got what? He said, you got what? I said, I got it. So the next thing I did, I started meeting with police officers.
Okay.
I said, what makes you nervous during traffic stops? Why are you all anxious and, reaching for guns?
Right.
They said, because they're reaching.
Okay.
When they walk up to the car, they see movement. This is
Right.
what they said.
Okay.
I'm taking them.
Okay.
That's why I said not reaching.
Okay.
So my husband and I kind of finagled with a few things. We had a Velcro thing. We did all kind of stuff. And
Yeah.
then finally we came up with this. We said, wait a minute. This magnet's going to sit on your air vent.
Right.
Clips right onto the driver air vent.
Yeah.
It doesn't blow off.
Don't blow
anything.
off.
Okay.
It doesn't melt.
Okay.
We've been in 100 and something degrees. It hasn't melted. We put our driver.
Tried and tested.
Yeah, tried and tested.
There you go, baby.
We put our driver's license, registration, and insurance card.
All
Police
there.
officer pulls up. We roll our windows down.
And that's
Right.
it.
I'm not reaching.
Yep.
Yeah.
You get it.
And
Right.
and that's how Jackie.
Amen.
And,
This is in honor of your son.
yeah.
Okay.
Because we can't have that anymore.
Right.
You now need to come up with another excuse
Exactly.
for why
Absolutely.
you shoot us.
Yeah.
That's right.
Because
That's right.
that ain't gonna work no more.
Absolutely.
If we all have not reaching, why'd you shoot us?
Right.
Exactly.
Why are
Right.
you targeting us?
That's right.
Right.
Your
Jackie.
son was targeted because he got dreads, he's black, he had a tail light out. When I hear him say, I wasn't reaching, we're not gonna reach anymore.
Yeah.
Right.
We're just
Right.
not going to do it. And thank you for your foundation. I've referred people to you.
Okay.
I think you have been placed in this for such a time as this.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
we're gonna make change.
Oh, yeah.
We're gonna do it together.
Oh, it's coming.
We're
Yes,
gonna do it
ma'am.
together.
Yes, ma'am.
That's Jackie Carter, Not Reaching, Jackie and Wayne Carter. And for more information about Not Reaching, go to www.notreaching.com. Thank you, Jackie.
Thank you.
Tell everybody, just before we leave, because we're about to get ready to wrap up, what do you want people to know most about your baby?
I want people to know that he was a human being. He was a great man. And he had people that love him and miss him dearly. Praise God.
Praise God.
Praise the Lord.
I want to say thank you for taking this time to talk with us tonight. We're going to be praying for you, and we're going to have you back.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
I'd be happy to come back.
Absolutely.
I
Thank
feel
you,
like
Jackie.
I'm at home.
you.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Thank
Oh,
you.
you're home.
Exactly.
Oh, you're home.
And thank you, Jackie, for being with us tonight.
You know
and
I'm
Wayne.
always ready
Absolutely.
to be here.
Everybody, thanks for tuning in. It's your boy, Mike Lee, right here with Radar Radio. We're here every Friday night from 7 to 9 p.m. You know the deal with the crew, and we will see you next Friday. You all take care.
Little bit of knowledge, always second nature, always you and I.